16 hours into day 2, and I've got 5 big, well seasoned prison vets say to me like, "Do you know how much of a idiot you are? You think you're tough?"
Troy, you mentioned there tougher upbringings or tougher earlier parts of your life.
Yeah.
Prison.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like being a footballer in prison? First of all, how big were you on the sort of football scene when you went in prison? You were at Watford.
I was at Watford. I was doing all right.
Did that make your life harder in prison or easier?
It's a strange one. It made my professional career a bit tougher. But I got sentenced to Winston Green Jail. Anyone can look it up, and it's like, Birmingham's biggest jail. But I had so many friends and family in there that that wasn't actually daunting, because everyone around me, it's like a weird thing, like from the estates and that where I'm from, like people go to jail and come back, and it just happens. So it wasn't really like, oh, Troy's gone to jail, that's a massive thing. But in the sporting world, it was like, this footballer's gone to jail, and what's he doing? And he's a hooligan, and all these different types of terms. Mm-hmm. So yeah, going into jail was a little bit like, oh, fucking hell, it's a bit tough this. But I buried my dad on the Friday and then went to jail on the Monday. So I was in it, like my headspace was a bit like, I was a bit all over the place, and I was drinking a lot of the time as well. So again, that's not to excuse any of the behaviour, but it just, just the facts of life. So obviously bury dad Friday, go to jail Monday, and let me paint a picture. In court, bang, Troy, you've been given 10 months. Okay, you don't like go home, get your stuff, and go. You just like turn around through this door, take it to the cells downstairs.
And did you know that was going to be the outcome?
Yeah, I was told basically, if we could keep it under a year, you've done well. Basically,
right.
And the only thing that had saved me in that aspect was because I'd already pleaded guilty to my things, so they couldn't change any of the sentencing. Basically, if you try and fight it, they can upgrade the level of the sentence and things of that nature. So, right. So thankfully I'd already done that, and I was able to learn my lesson and move forward. But yeah, when I went downstairs. I went downstairs at like 2:30. I didn't get to Winston Green Jail till about 8:30, 9, because you have to wait for everybody else to come down, and then they put you on the van. So until the van's full.
Oh, it's like all of the cases throughout the day.
Yeah.
To see whether they're guilty or...
Yeah. And who's going where and whatever. So you basically just sat down in this like booking area for a couple of hours. So I'm just sat there. Didn't take anything with me. I don't know why, actually, I didn't do any of that. I just didn't think you could. I thought you kind of just got like school. You got your gear, like how you see it in the movies, isn't it? Like, there's your stuff. That's what you get, kind of that. Yeah. That's the vibe. And I just got to there about 8 o'clock. I was fucking starving. That's the biggest thing I remember. But when we got to the front, so you give you your gear, you put the trackie on and whatever, and the guy who's booking you in is like, read the name, he's like, Deeney? Yeah. And my dad's name was Berkey. So he's like, Berkey, your dad? I was like, yeah. But I knew as I'd got into football, my dad was like obviously in and out of jail, but he'd always speak about me. So he goes, Berkey, your dad? He goes, yeah. Well, you're going to be fucking trouble then. And he just threw the thing, like the tag on me. And I was like, well, that's not a good start, is it? Like, yeah.
That's not a reputation already.
Yeah, it's like, you're going to be trouble. He just fucking threw it at me, and then I went in, and you get in this like overnight thing, and I've walked in, it's a bunk bed, painting a picture. It is, I want to say, it's 6 feet wide because I can touch side to side, and it's about 7 to 8 foot long. So there's like a double bunk bed. There's a double bunk bed this side. There's a fucking piss. Somewhere to take a piss, and there's here to wash your hands, and the TV. And in the middle of that is a door. That's your room, and there's two fellas in there. But I've walked in, and this geezer's on the top bunk. He's already set up, and I've walked in like, I really need a shit. That was the first thing I remember going like, can I shit? It's like, is this like on a plane? Like I can, but it's like frowned upon. Yeah. And so I just held that in. I thought, we're not doing that. And then like, just thrown into this room, and that's it. And like, that's day one. But you're in like a holding thing again while everyone's working out the paperwork and the process. Next day, knock at the door. Right, Troy, you're going on to. I went on to K wing, which is like a working wing for people that are not really in trouble or workers. So I'll go on there, and the guy goes, "Got my little bag of stuff," and he's like, "Yeah." So Troy, you're in here. You're in room, whatever the room is, and I say room, cell. Like it's like a hotel. Yeah, the Holiday Inn.
There are your keys, sir.
Yeah,
Little cookie.
and he goes, "Oh, just to let you know, they've all got the paper, so they all know who you are. Good luck." Push me back in and shut the door behind me. And I'm like,
what, has he just said that's getting your head?
oh, massively. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Massively got in bed. But he's like, pushed me through the door and like slammed the bars. And I was like, fuck. That's when it kind of became real. Because I was like, shit, like, is that person who I got into the altercation, does he have family? Are they in here? Like, do you get what I mean? Does he have friends? All these mad thoughts go through your head. But honestly, it was the worst experience, but the best thing I needed from me at that moment in time, just to stop me in my tracks. No one gave a shit that I was a footballer. If anything, it caused more problems. Like, you're a fucking knobhead for being here. Like, we're criminals by choice or by circumstance. And you want to be tough when you can make all... Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like...
Did anyone start on you when you were in there?
Yeah, so my dad's pals started on me. Yeah. More like... Not started on me, kind of like just stuck it on me, like you're being a fucking knobhead.
To teach you a lesson?
Yeah, so basically I go into the gym and the guy in there, again, knew I was like, look, you fucked up in life. He was one of the nice kids. You fucked up in life and we still want to try and keep you fit because technically I still had a job at this point. I went in early June.
Right.
So it was our off season, so no one had really even noticed I'd gone from a footballing community. Mm-hmm. And it was like, right, just keep ticking over. We're going to get you fit, whatever. I was like, no worries, Sam. And as I've turned around, there's like these two lads that I knew from the area, like called twins. They were twins, but obviously we called them twins. And I've like, shoulders relaxed now. Like, I know you, you know me, we're sweet. How you doing, mate? And it was like, fuck you doing in here? But you know, with that tone, and you're like, this ain't how it's supposed to go. I'm like, yeah, I did this. And I was a bit like, cocky, like, yeah, I did this, I did that. What, you think you're odd? I was like, nah, but you asked me what happened. I'm telling you, mate, if your dad was here, he'd fucking fill you in. And I was like, oh. And then, but at this point, a couple of others of my dad's friends, they could. So I've got my back to them, so they can't see who I'm having the confrontation with. So they've come to like kind of look after me, and then they've realised what they're doing. So they've joined in. So this is day 2. Or day 2, about 16 hours in, really. 16 hours into day 2. And I've got 5 big, well-seasoned prison vets say to me, like, do you know how much of a fucking idiot you are? You think you're tough. If it weren't for your old man, we'd fill you in now. We'd make you pay this, we'd make you pay that. And it humbled me, man, so much. And I was like, I was a bit egotistical as well, so I wasn't going to back down. But then when I got back to my room, I just sat there and was like, they're fucking right, to be fair. And the next day I went and saw them and I went, look, I'll make you right, to be fair.
That's a quality story, that.
Yeah, I apologise. And they were still hurt because they'd only just heard, I say, Dad died on the Friday, so this is the Tuesday. They'd only just heard that my dad had died.
So it was raw for them as well.
So they were just, no, but they were talking as if he was alive. They were like, if your dad was in here, he'd be sticking it all over, he'd be fuming. And then they've kind of heard, I don't know whether it's through the prison or whatever, or for the grapevine, it was like Tuesday when I said it, they were like, fuck, you never said your dad was dead. And I was like, oh yeah, because my dad was so like, he had cancer of the esophagus, so he died, found out in Feb, died in May, so it was like really quick. So, but he was like old school, like he just used to go to pubs still, didn't tell anyone, he still tried to stay out late. He was all like about being like the tough guy, so when he died, to a lot of people, it was like, I saw him Friday, he was sweet. Like, what happened?
A real shock.
Yeah. He turned around really quick.
So them lads, they were your dad's mates, were they?
Yeah. Well, what we would call, I don't know if I do it like uncle.
Right.
Uncle Dave or uncle whoever. Like that geezer that's not your uncle, but he'll throw you a bit of fruit at a fruit stand. Like,
that's such a touch of class from them, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. And they're all sound lads. Like, they're all, certified blokes. They know what they're doing. They know the way they live. And it's only like, with my old man, like, he kept it so far away from us, it was a joke. So we don't have his last name. None of us do. We got our mum's name. But it was solely because he knew he used to live off a reputation. Your last name is what you stand by. So if everyone mentioned Burke or any of my dad's brothers mentioned it, they'd be like, shit, that's Paul's brothers. So they'd leave him alone.
Right. Yeah.
But he didn't want that when he got to later life that we would have to deal with the consequences by having that. So I say later life, he died at 47. So, it was very, very quick.